Every single successful business, from that little coffee shop on the corner to a global tech company, they all have one thing in common: a clear destination. So today, we're going to explore the roadmap that actually gets them there. We're talking about business objectives.
I mean, think about it for a second. Imagine you've got a car with a full tank of gas. You've got the best map in the world, but you have no idea where you're supposed to be going. What do? You're just driving, right? Burning fuel, wasting time and energy.
Well, that is exactly what a business without objectives is like. You can have all the resources, the smartest people, and all the potential in the world. But without a clear goal, you aren't really going anywhere. It's the difference between focused action and just being busy.
So let's build this roadmap together. We're going to start with why objectives are so important in the first place. Then we'll break down how they're structured, and I'll show you how to make your goals smart. We'll also look at how objectives can be totally different depending on the industry, see how they evolve over time, and then we'll wrap up with a quick quiz. Ready? Let's get into it. Okay, so first up, why even bother setting objectives? Well, it's not just about having something to aim for. It's really about building a solid foundation for your business, and it all rests on three main pillars.
So pillar number 1, direction. It gets everyone on the same page, pulling in the same direction. Number 2, motivation. When your team knows why they're doing what they do, it's a huge motivator. And finally, objectives are basically your scorecard. How do you know if you're actually winning? Well, you measure your progress against those goals. It's as simple as that. Now, here's the thing. Not all objectives are the same. A CEO's goal is going to be way different from a junior employee's, but all their work has to be connected. And that's where this idea of a hierarchy of objectives comes in. It's how you translate a company's huge vision into what people actually do every day.
At the very top of this pyramid, you have the mission statement. This isn't about profit or sales targets. This is about the fundamental reason the business exists. It's the big why that should inspire everything else. And a great mission statement is incredibly powerful. Just look at Google's. It doesn't say anything about making money or selling ads. It's just this massive, inspiring purpose. And that is the North Star that guides everything they do, from their search engine all the way to their self-driving cars. So how do you get from a huge, inspiring mission statement all the way down to what an employee is supposed to do on a Tuesday afternoon? Well, you use a hierarchy, like the one you see here. Think of it as a cascade, where each level gets more and more specific. Let's make this a bit more real. Imagine a company we'll call Clean Delivery. Their big picture corporate objective is to double their market share in 2 years. Okay, so how does that break down? Well, the marketing team's objective is to grow their UK share to 10%. Their strategy to do that? Focus on social media. And the specific tactic? Run targeted online ads. And all of that is tied to a budget. See how that big dream just became a concrete, actionable plan?
Okay, so having a destination is great, but the directions to get there have to be crystal clear. An objective like be more successful is, well, it's useless because nobody knows what that actually means. And that's why the best objectives are SMART. It's a handy acronym that's like the ultimate checklist for setting goals that actually work. First up, S is for specific. The goal has to be super clear, no room for confusion. Increased sales is not specific enough. Increased sales of our new running shoe, now that's much better. You know exactly what to focus on. M stands for measurable. This is huge. You have to be able to track your progress with numbers. There's a saying, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. So instead of just increase sales, it becomes increase sales by 15%. Now we have a real target to aim for. Next, we have A for achievable. You want to stretch your team, for sure, but you don't want to break them. If you set a goal that's completely impossible, it's just going to demotivate everyone. It has to be a challenge, yeah, but it's got to be within reach. Then R is for realistic and relevant. This one's kind of a two-parter. First, is the goal actually realistic given your money and your people? And second, is it relevant to the team you're giving it to? Telling the IT department their goal is to increase sales isn't very helpful, but giving them a target to reduce system downtime by 10%? Now that's relevant. And finally, T is for time limited. Every single objective needs a deadline. Increase sales by 15% is okay, but increase sales by 15% within the next 6 months, now that's a real actionable goal. It creates a sense of urgency and gives you a clear finish line. So let's look at the difference here. Be successful, it's a nice thought, but it's not a real goal.
But increase sales in the Southeast region by 15% this year? Now that is a plan. It's specific, you can measure it, it's achievable, realistic, and it has a deadline. That's a goal you can actually build a business around.
But hey, not every business is on the same journey. A big corporation has a very different destination in mind than, say, a local charity or a government department. So let's take a look at how these objectives change depending on the sector. Really, it all comes down to what's driving the organization. For a private company, it's usually all about the money, profit, growth, that kind of thing. For a public service, like a library or a hospital, the goal is to provide a good, reliable service to the public. And then you have this really cool middle ground, social enterprises. And that brings us to a really important idea called the triple bottom line. It's this concept that true success isn't just about financial profit. It's about measuring your impact across 3 different areas: your economic impact, your social impact, and your environmental impact. The whole idea is balance. You've got profit, which, keeps the lights on. Then you have people, which means you're being a positive force in your community. And finally, planet, which means you're being environmentally responsible. It's not about picking one, it's about finding a way to win at all 3. But here's the kicker. The destination you set today might not be the right one for tomorrow. The world changes fast, so your objectives can't be set in stone. They have to adapt and evolve as the journey changes. Think about the life of a business. In year 1, the only objective that matters is survival, just staying alive. By year 3, hopefully, you're focused on growth. By year 5, you might be trying to grab more market share. And maybe after a decade, you're established enough to focus more on your ethical impact. The point is, your goals grow right along with your business. And it's not just about age. So many things can force you to change your objectives. A new competitor could suddenly pop up, your own company culture or ethics might shift, your size, your industry, all of these things constantly shape and reshape your goals. Wow. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground, from the big why of objectives all the way to the nitty-gritty how. So now, let's do a quick check-in to see what stuck. It's quiz time. All right, first question. Which part of that SMART acronym is all about being able to track your progress with numbers and data? Is it A, specific, B, measurable, or C, achievable? If you said B, measurable, you were spot on. Gotta have those numbers to know if you're on track. Question number 2. What is the main focus for a social enterprise? Is it A, maximizing profit at all costs, B, the triple bottom line, or C, shareholder returns? The answer here is B, the triple bottom line. Remember, they're balancing people, planet, and profit. And for our last question, what's the number 1 most important goal for a brand new startup in its very first year? Is it A, growth, B, survival, or C, corporate social responsibility? It is almost always B, survival. You have to stay in the game before you can even think about changing it. So there you have it. A business without objectives is just a journey without a destination. The real question is, now that you have the map, where are you going to go?